Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh, and today's guest, it's a new band. We have one member. So you're a four-piece?
Yeah,
So
right.
it's the Living Walls.
The Living Walls. You got it, man.
And with Rheo's the name?
Rheo, yeah.
Rheo. So where does that name come from? Is that
My
I've
name, mine
yeah.
or the band name. My
No,
name.
your own name.
Well, I'm a junior, so it's my dad's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, French name. He's a banjo player on PEI.
Oh, okay. It's also a musician. That's what I
Yeah,
was wondering too. Okay.
yeah.
And so what can you tell us about this new band, the Living Walls?
Well, Living Walls. Yeah, we just were playing last night at Fairley's House of Blues in Halifax. There. It started as a duo. My friend Dan Vorstermans and I. He's the guitar player singer in the band.
Okay.
We started a we met at the Barely's Sunday Night Blues Jam, which is where a lot of musicians meet, seems like around here. So we met there a couple years ago. We started a band together called Wharf Rats, which is a Grateful Dead tribute band that we've been playing around the Maritimes in the past couple of years, the past 3 years. And on the side, we also started a duo where we would just kind of do gigs, the two of us, guitar and bass. And then we got into writing tunes together. We added our friend Kai on the drums. We did a couple of gigs as a trio, and then we added our friend Sam on keys, and that's where it is now. So we're just now getting around to like some recordings that we've been working on are seeing the light of day. So it started as a duo. We added a drummer, and I guess at that point it was more of like a songwriting club than really a band that was planning on doing anything. We were having fun writing together.
Sort of
And
to flex the muscle outside of being in. You said Grateful Dead tribute
War,
band or a cover
uh,
band?
Wharf Rats, exactly, which is our Grateful Dead tribute band that we've got going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because in that you're not writing anything, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we also wanted to keep on writing music. Um, and we had this philosophy that it was like this no judgment writing club, because sometimes like I mean a lot of ideas get thrown out because of I don't know self-doubt or funny reasons, but we said like if you've got any idea at all like pitch it to the rest of us because maybe even if you don't love it we'll see something in it that we like, and you may see it differently after we've kind of tried it out. So it was just like this no judgment songwriting club, and our philosophy was like throw any idea against the wall and then it might bounce off, it might take root, you know so this is where the name Living Walls came from. It was like our songwriting philosophy, and now it's turned into a band that's doing shows and putting out our first tune there last week.
And so you have I always try to not pigeonhole anybody with a genre, but for people that are new to the band to kind of explain, it always helps. So you kind of have elements of like a jam band,
Yeah,
and
a little bit, and
but it's not right specifically what I would call it. Like that to be fair, because I'm sure some of that comes from Grateful Dead influence that's in there as well.
oh yeah, for
But
sure.
what other kind of influences, or how would you explain the sound to a new listener?
Well, if I had to kind of compare to some of the music that we are really influenced by, I might say, we are kind of on the road between like the band and J.J. Cale. I think, like J.J. Cale is one of my biggest songwriting influences because he's so chill in everything he does, and he doesn't like seem to overthink things or over arrange. It's just I just love his music, so maybe that's personally a big influence. But Dan is a huge Bob Dylan fan, and his songs kind of have that vibe. I feel like, and of course, the Grateful Dead, and that's maybe an idea, an area that I could say.
And with your live show, because you have been playing quite a few live shows,
Mm-hmm.
what do people get in live set? Is there a mixture of covers in that set with some of the new material, or do you actually have enough of your own original materials that you have a full set now?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have enough originals where we could go do one set of just original stuff,
Mhm,
but like a lot of shows we're doing, like last night we did 3 sets. You know, we were like the band all night.
mhm.
So we had 2/3 covers and probably about a set's worth of originals at this point, but they're spread out throughout the night. So as we go on, we're got a bunch of half-written tunes that we're finishing up, and we're going to get back in the studio, and we got some stuff that's recorded and mastered, and we just haven't released it yet because maybe we want to like maybe think of a cool video idea or something, some cool way to present it. But it's growing all the time. At this point, yeah, we could do like 45 or 50 minutes on just originals, but we're doing kind of like longer gigs, so we got some
Yeah.
covers. Yeah,
And so obviously you would have a little bit of exposure with people that are familiar with you as artists already through the Wharf Rats. And I've heard the name. I've seen posters online and everything. I've not caught a performance. So with that band, what type of reach did you have? Like, were you primarily HRM based, or did you have a little bit of exposure to the other East Coast provinces?
with the Wharf Rats.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's our mission, kind of to our unspoken mission to find the Grateful Dead fans,
Yeah.
in Atlantic Canada, at least to start with. And we found there's a lot of them in New Brunswick. So we
Okay.
we we end up going there a lot. We have this there's a place called the Hampton Brewing Company that we love playing, and it's almost like stepping into a different world for us to go there. There's a campsite right attached, so we'll play like a 2-nighter there, and people will camp out, and we have like almost like a little mini festival. We did that in June, and we're doing it again in early October, so next month, like a Thanksgiving weekend. So we've been to Charlottetown a bunch. We played at the Cloggeroo Festival in Eastern PEI last month, and Dartmouth and Halifax. We're trying to branch out now. So we want to play in Antigonish, and we're just kind of making the connections and slowly building up, slowly kind of trying to expand our path of places. But I mean, I think there's a lot of Grateful Dead fans in New Brunswick. We like going. We like going there. We like going
Yeah.
everywhere. We like
I'm
playing.
I'm biased with the Antigonish reference because it's not that far from my location. So
Yeah,
I would like to favor something like that. But aside from my own bias, from doing these interviews, I've discovered there's like a lot going on there right now with music. Like there's a lot of new people popping up and a lot of little
yeah,
venues with different people playing. So there's a lot of different places to catch stuff, and a lot of that bled into the summer, but now we're into the school year and it's a university town. So
yeah,
definitely keep an eye on that. I'll be keeping an eye on listings and see if you're going to make your
yeah.
way over to Antigonish sometime.
Yeah, I think we hope to be there early in the next year, February, March.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
And is it hard at this point to keep two bands going, or is it easier because you share members?
Well, we've got quite a bit more than 2 bands going, actually. Like,
Okay.
well, we're all like professional musicians, so it's there's a lot of projects that we're juggling. I'm in about like 4 right now full time, but then there's also a bunch of sub gigs with like a whole bunch of people that like will give me a call if their bass player can't make it.
Hmm.
Um, so it's but this is what we do, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're
Are
happy.
you all full-time musicians?
Yeah, there's some side jobs. A lot of people like
Hmm.
teach lessons or work in a bar, but this is like at least half of everyone's income. Is for some people it's quite a bit more.
Well, that's a feat in its own. So I mean, congratulations for that much. Like that's its own level of success right there.
I suppose, yeah.
And so now for the Living Walls, is this new? Like the single's brand new, but how long have you been together as a band then?
Well, I would say the band really gelled when we added Sam Fraser on the keys,
Hmm.
our fourth member, um, and she came in, I guess it was like, a year ago, a little over a year ago. So
Well,
it's
is she from another band that I would know? The name sounds familiar.
well, I met Sam in a rehearsal. I was doing gigs with Campbell and Johnson,
Okay.
Christine Campbell and Blake Johnson.
Hmm.
And so I was doing some gigs with them, and I met Sam in a rehearsal. She was filling in for Pete Davison for a gig, who was the piano player in that band, who is the bass player in Wharf Rats, actually, Pete Davison.
Okay.
Um, so I met Sam there, and it was just like the same week that the other three of us had decided that we wanted to add a fourth musician to Living Walls. Um, and she was great. So I asked her if she wanted to come play with us. She came and play, and then soon after that, she was like in the band.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now the single itself, I want to talk about the video a little bit.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I've watched it more times than I probably want to share right now.
Oh, cool.
I've had it on quite a few times actually. It's
Right
quite
on.
a cool video, and I recognize the
Thank you.
location as well.
Sorry, what
So
was that?
I recognize the location, so I always
Oh,
geek
okay.
out when I watch a music video, and I'm like, oh, I know this area.
Yeah.
So it turned out beautiful, by the way. Like it's a
Thank you
great
very much.
video.
Yeah, thanks.
But so the song Dishpan Larry, is this is it a real person?
Well, yeah, that's not his name. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know, but there was a period a summer or two ago that I was so the area you're talking about that you recognize is the Dartmouth walking trail,
Hmm.
right? So I was biking the trail every day or a couple times a day. It was like the middle of like some kind of lockdown. You couldn't go anywhere. So I was like biking the trail all the time. And I noticed because I was there every day, there was this cast of people that were also on the trail every single day. I'd see
Oh
six or
yeah.
the same 6 or 7 or 8 people every single day. So, I just started to like imagine their lives and make up names for them, just and so one of these guys would sit on the bench in front of the Woodside Ferry Terminal and play a dishpan. Actually, it was a drying rack, but I thought drying rack Larry didn't sound as nice as dishpan Larry,
Yeah.
so I changed it. So he would play a drying rack with wooden spoons, like a drum set. Like the part where you put the plates with maybe like his ride cymbal, and then
Yeah.
the silverware tray was like his snare, that kind of thing. So he'd play there, but he wasn't so much like he didn't have a hat out. He wasn't busking. He was just playing for his own fun. So there was a person doing that, like you saw in the video. So I just made up a name for him and imagined kind of his backstory. So this is we'll call it like a semi-fictional character named Dishpan Larry. And he was,
And the video, did you guys make that yourselves?
yeah, Tom Terrell, who plays with Big Country and formerly from Modern Grass for years. He is also a great filmmaker. So he made this video for us. He does a lot of surfing movies, and he did a surfing movie a while ago, and he used one of my tunes from a former band called the Chronos Band. I led the band for a couple of years. We put 2 records out. It's been over for a few years now. He used one of our tunes in his video, and it was kind of like a trade that he did this video for us.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Barter system.
Yeah.
And the actor playing Dishpan Larry is a guy named Gary Potts, who is a blues drummer in Halifax, legendary blues drummer, and also a good actor. I'd seen him in a couple things, a couple short films and stuff, and I just thought he would be perfect. So we asked him, and he was happy to do it.
I actually, when I've watched it the first time, I'm like, is that like an actual person that like lives in the park and they just filmed them?
Yeah, no, that is a professional drummer and painter, and a legend in the Halifax blues scene, the Canadian blues scene, I would say.
Hmm.
Gary Potts, also a fine actor.
Awesome. Awesome. Lots of shout outs there.
Mhm.
So what's the next step for the Living Walls as a band?
We got some more tunes that are finished and ready to go that we're gonna find the right way to release very soon. You know, we might just try to make another video or some of these. So we have one that's completely done, two that just need some final touches. So you can expect to hear from us again maybe about a month's time with another release. And we plan to kind of put them out one by one, and then at a certain point we'll have a full record that we can put out.
And will there be a little variance between the songs as far as sound? Because I did listen to some of your live performances because I was able to find some stuff online.
Okay.
And that's where I get kind of the reference to the jam band kind of thing. I know that you have a lot of blues influences and everything in there as well.
Yeah.
But now this song is like a pop folk song. It's very catchy.
Thank you. Pop folk,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I wouldn't know how really what to call it. I mean, it's got a shuffle beat. That's maybe the best way I can describe it. So pop folk, I like that. Let's go with that.
yeah, you could take. I've been throwing a lot of words in with folk lately, and people have been liking them. So I think that we're going to see East Coast music as this strange variance of folk scenes.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
I'm claiming responsibility for it here right now too.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So I think for today we'll play off with your single, but I do want you to reach out when you have the new releases ready to go because I'd like to keep up with what's happening with the band. It's been an exciting time doing the podcast because there's been a lot of new projects. When it started, it was a lot of stuff that was birthed out of all the downtime that people had, but now
A
we're
lot,
getting
a
like
lot of stuff came out of that for sure. Yeah.
yeah, we're into like a new wave of it now where there's new things coming out that people are working into their already crazy schedules. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see what stuff actually survives the next couple of years. But
Yeah.
that's your first single. I love it. So I'm really excited to see where you guys are going with it. Hopefully this is just the beginning, and the rest of them are even better.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Darcy. We'll let you know for sure when we put the next one out. Yeah, and everything we do, we'll send you a note, man. Thanks so much. I'm glad you dig the song, man. That's awesome.
Great. Thank you very much, and hope to hear from you soon.